Let me check now because I stopped something and I did something. Let me check this one. This is fine. How about management manage instance? Yeah, looks good. So I will just show you my on-prem setup. It's nothing great. I just added the server to the domain, and now this is an on-prem server. Okay. So behind the scenes, what I have done is I made use of DNS private resolvers, and Revant was asking me few questions today. So I would like to talk about those questions. I think when I was explaining about deadlocks in my IAS classes, I shared a script and most of them were asking me that script. I will check that script now. And I need to check if the deadlocks can be resolved. I mean, can we fetch that information using that script? I will check now. So for the very first time, as I said, I am connecting to my managed instance using private endpoint of MI from on-premises. So I'm doing that. Let me show you. There are a few things that I wanted to explain, and then I will talk about replication and all. So as you can see, I'm able to connect from on-premises server to the managed instance using the private endpoint. This is not public endpoint, as you're not seeing the public DNS, public in the connection string. Okay, this is first point. Second point. So I think Raymond was asking me about deadlocks. I wanted to check if we have health sessions, something like health sessions, because we usually have health sessions, right? By default, if I go here, if I go to the extend events, by default, we have system health session. So I didn't check that on MI. So I'm checking up right now in front of you. Let me check if we have any extended events that are running. Yes, we do have system health sessions. That means my script, whatever that I shared in my IS classes should work here also. So we'll try to see that. That is second thing. And third thing, he was asking me with respect to hub and spoke architecture. So this plays a vital role in real time, guys. What is hub and what are spokes? So we wanted to know about that. So even for my setup, for my on-premises setup, I did follow this architecture and I was able to resolve the connectivity using the private endpoints. So I will talk about this a bit later. Any questions with my previous classes or with the topic that I'm going to discuss right now? I know most of you are not aware of this architecture, hub and spoke. I will talk about this architecture and I will show you how I was able to resolve this DNS stuff. And there are so many things that I have to do again because I simplified the architecture. As we are getting too many errors, I simplified it, but now it is working fine. But still, there are too many things that I have to carry out again. Keeping that aside, any other questions? So if not, I will just go with the deadlock script and I'll share that script today. I have done this in IIS. I forgot where I kept that script. So let me check that script first. So I think when he was trying to add the trace flag, he got some error. Let us do the same thing and see. Because I think he was trying to add 1222 or 1204 something. I will start one mission first. And people were asking me about performance tuning. So I did recorded one session and uploaded onto YouTube on MI. So you can just watch that for a moment.
Yes, Vinci.
Missions, virtual missions. Yeah. At least I will pick one mission. The only tab that worries me a lot in this Azure portal is this one. It goes crazily, man. If we go with this topic, virtual network gateways, if you keep this and if you keep your MI and if you keep this one, these three, it will cost you a lot. These three. Let me open this. Okay. So DBCC, I think he was trying to add 1204, which is the older trace flag for SQL 2000 and 2005. We used to add this flag. It will report in non-XML format. Let's try to add this. Unable to set one or trace flags. It is not supported. Okay. It's not required, but I'm just trying it out. 1222, will it add? No, it's not allowing you to add. So now his scenario is what if my deadlocks, if I encounter any deadlocks, how to fetch that information? Because in on premises or Azure VMs, we can add these trace flags. So it is quite easy. But on MI, it is not allowing us to add. But even on premises, I never made use of these trace flags from 2012 or even 2008 R2, because we have system health sessions. So we can fetch that deadlock information from system health sessions. So under management, you will be able to find that, and it will be running. I think it is there from 2008 R2, if I'm not wrong. So we can fetch, sorry, 2012, I think 2012 system health. I'll show you now.
Can you show quickly that once?
I will create one deadlock and I will make use of my script. I need to check my script first. Deadlock script, where I kept, let me check. Deadlock script. I think it's not there, not here, I guess. You can use this deadlock script anywhere, guys. You can use this script. It is very handy. What it does is it will help you to show the deadlock information in a tabular format. I think I discussed this in my IAS classes. So let me check this script. Yeah, this one. So on the internet, this script is not there. I modified this script to gather that information into a tabular format. So I combined two of the scripts that are available and I managed to do that. So let me go. Is my mission started? I think yes, it started. Let's connect here.
Vamsi, if possible, can you share it?
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
It will be there in shared drive, right? Google Drive.
It will be, I will upload it onto Google Drive. I'll do right now because I will forget again. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. Control Z, copy. Okay.
Down one more command is.
So it is ready. So I will try to produce the deadlock from here. It looks, it's very small, right? The screen is very small because I didn't add that guest editions. So it looks small only, it's fine. But if you have problems, I will connect from here. If you want bigger screen, I can do it from here. Okay, let's do it from here because you're not comfortable. So in the meanwhile, I will try to show you what I did. I need to open one more server. Before opening any stuff, I wanted to talk about this one first. So I have three VNets. You can ignore this VNet. I'm not able to delete this VNet. Somehow I'm getting errors. So you can ignore this VNet, and the rest of the VNets are Azure AD VNet, DC VNet, and PAS VNet. As the name says, PAS VNet is having the MI. It's holding the MI. Okay. And DC VNet, I have two missions, and Azure AD VNet, I have two missions. So I will show my PAS VNet first. Okay. This is PAS VNet. And if I go to the DNS, as I said, again, guys, it's all about DNS. DNS plays a vital role. So as of now, PAS VNet is with default Azure provided. So when you see this, what will be my DNS server ID? IP by default.
Wire server IP.
Yeah, wire server IP. So 168.
168. Yes.
Yeah, something 168.63, something.
168.63, 129.60.
Yeah. So if I go to my DC VNet is having two missions, one domain controller and one SQL. Okay, but inside the DNS of DC VNet, If you see, I'm having the custom DNS server entry, means nothing but the domain controller IP, private IP of the domain controller. Just keep this in your mind. So DC VNet, okay, and Azure AD VNet. If I go there, and if I go to the DNS of Azure AD VNet, again, I'm saving the default. Okay. So now I'll take another notepad for a second. So Azure AD VNet is with default, means wide server, pass VNet, again default. And the last one, I think DC VNet, it is with 10 dot something, right? So this is how custom DNS. So that is how my configuration is. Okay. And now I will show you a few things. I think this mission is started. Okay. Let's connect to MI. Deadlock, we can first finish it off. It will not take much time. I can use any database. Okay, no, not this one. I will use this one. I'll create one more table. Create table test2 serial number int. That's enough. So I have two tables, I believe so. Yesterday night I created one table. Ripple test and test2. Okay, I don't have any records in each of these tables. So let me fire one deadlock scenario. Begin tran insert table name values 1 and I will open another session. Test2. So this holds exclusive lock on that row, and this holds exclusive lock on that row. And if you're trying to access the counterpart without committing or rollback, sorry, test, no, not one, select start from Ripple test. I will get blocked. And this guy, if he's trying to access the other one, this guy would get blocked, and eventually SQL Server will kill one of the bits that is least expensive to roll back. Select start from test2, right? Test2. So as you know, I think most of you are aware, deadlock will kill one of the bits and which is least expensive to roll back. And there is one deadlock skid monitor. There is one deadlock thread that runs behind the scenes, and it runs for every 5 seconds. And it looks or probes for any deadlocks. So it looks for any deadlocks, and if SQL Server Engine notifies, if it comes to know that there is a deadlock scenario, it will kill one of the bits. So deadlock will be taken care automatically. We don't need to do anything. And now let's run the script what I have and see if this works on MI, because till now I made use of the script only on IAS. I didn't check on MI. Let me go to new query and run the script. 1 second. So from where I'm fetching? Most likely from this one. System health sessions. Okay, it should work. Let's give it a try. I'm not able to hear you, Chetan. I think it's Chetan. I'm not able to hear you.
Is it audible now? Is it audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying, even select is blocked. The other day we are discussing like a transaction now provided undo facility, right? So whatever previous data, it should be able to select the previous data, right? After insert, it should be able to select the previous data. Yeah, we will not be able to get the new data. Okay, that is fine. But previous data, it should get select.
No, that is it will not work like that in SQL. Okay, this is completely different. One thing, Chetan, so your Oracle is way too costly when compared to SQL. Accepted it, right? It's way too costly. MySQL, not MySQL, Microsoft SQL is way less cheaper than Oracle. So there are so many things that SQL can't match up with Oracle. Okay, so
no, I was like surprised to see the select is also blocking.
Yeah, obviously,
because insert.
because behind the scenes, this is operating in, again, this is also kind of PT, guys. So if you wanted to know real reasons, yes, we can deep dive. That's not a big thing. So behind the scenes, we have what is that? Read committed isolation level. Okay. So how the isolation level works in SQL, that is what you have to understand before exploring further on this. So that's the reason I said, if I jump into PT, I will never able to come back again. So I have to restrict myself. So my script is throwing some error here. So I will work on the script. Forget about this script, but even if you want to fetch that information, you can get it from here. So external events, sessions, system health, it will be here. I will open this. And you can filter on deadlock something. You will get columns, choose the columns. Let's go with error number. Okay. Find in this column 1205. Okay, not this way. It's hard to find.
1204, right?
Error number is 1205. Trace flag is 1204.
Okay.
Okay, let me sort by timestamp first. It is 7/56/2022 Okay, this is the other way, 1551. Okay, now, and it will see this is the deadlock. We just got this deadlock, and this is the deadlock
So you
information.
can aggregate based on that. You can also do it. How many times only the deadlock occurred?
Yeah, we can do many things from here, but what I'm trying to show you is this script has to work, in fact, on MI, but looks like I need to modify something because I'm trying to access it from error logs.
Log
Okay.
file location is not correct.
And
Log file
no,
logging.
I will show you. Okay, let me show you. I will run the same script on mission, means VM. This is the one, right? It's not the error with the script, guys. It's the error on MI. I will show you now. Do we have anything? Okay, I have something here. Okay, I'll create two tables inside master. Create table test1, test2. Okay, two tables, and I just need to run the same scripts. Test1. Test1. Okay. Test1 only, right? What we created, or did I made any mistake?
Database name.
Yeah, database name.
Master only. I
Database
created
is not.
inside the master only, right? Let me check. Select start from
Master only.
this dot tables. Let's wait for it. Okay, test1 is not appearing here. Oh, I should not create. I should not be creating here. We'll create here. Create table test1. Okay, so now I have test1 and I have test2, and select star from test1. Select star from test2. Okay, and the same script, I'm not going to modify anything inside the script. I will just run as is. So let me see. Yeah, deadlock is there. And let me run the script. So I got some information. So I loaded that into this table. So you will see that now. select star from deadlock underscore collection underscore temp. Why it said 91 rows popped up, right?
Yes.
Then why I'm not able to see anything? 1 second.
I think it's a hash table.
Let's remove this. I'll say select star into deadlock collection, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, let me run it again and see. Is it hash table? Select star into that what I kept, deadlock underscore collection underscore temp. Okay, let's see. Select star from sys tables. Yes, it is there. Am I referring that somewhere? I need to check, because as I said, this script I shared to them. Drop table deadlock
Table is
collection.
already created.
Yeah, that's why I'm just dropping this deadlock collection underscore temp something. Okay, and now let's run it again. 91 rows affected. 1 rows affected, 2 rows affected means I will just see if this is not working. I will not load. Yeah. Now if you see, I got the deadlock information. Test 2 is one table and test 1 is one table. And these are the splits 72 and 73. Okay. And they are trying to obtain exclusive lock at row levels. And the wait mode is they are waiting for shared locks. So since they are not compatible, they went into deadlock state. So if you run the script, everything will get loaded and you will get everything. So you will get the deadlock graph
So
also.
which one is blocked by which one? Showing here, it's showing something.
If you go to the deadlock graph, you will come to know, right? So it has killed one of the speeds that are least expensive to roll back, right? That's what I said. So this speed is 252. It is the log usage is 252 bytes, whereas this one is 372. Okay, means process ID 3A77C28 will get killed because it is using less log usage. So if you see here that is got killed, victim list, under victim list, it is showing 37C28 because my log usage is lesser here. So that is the reason it got picked up and it got killed by SQL Server. And if you see, there are two processes involved. One process has already obtained exclusive lock on one of the tables. On this table, this process got exclusive lock on test 2, and this process has got exclusive lock on test 1. And they are trying to access for shared lock. So it went into wait state. And this guy is also trying to trying to access shared lock on the another table. I mean to say, you ever seen, right? So it went into wait state. So one of the splits got killed automatically. So we have the deadlock graph. If you want, you can save this as, what is the type? XSD, if I'm not wrong. We need to save this if you wanted to view this as a deadlock
XD.
graph. What is that format? I forgot that.
XDL.
Save deadlock graph as, wait a second.
.xdl.
XSD, right?
XDL.
XDL, okay. I forgot the format. I'll keep on my D drive. Okay, and let's try to open that file. File XDL. Okay. It's already open. Do you want to close it? Yes. Okay, so that's how you'll get. I didn't do anything. I didn't add any trace flags. I didn't do anything. So despite whatever the deadlocks, what you have on the system, it doesn't matter. It works on all the databases. You just need to run this script. Okay, this script will collect that information and it will load that into a table, and you can view everything from this script. Okay, if anyone wants in real time, because if you see here straight away, I can say log usage and everything, on what resources it is waiting on and what is the wait mode, everything. I will get the client, host name, login name, everything, and also the deadlock graph. So once we get the deadlock graph, we need to save that as or XDL, and you will get this information also. I didn't add any flags.
Which query it got killed? Can we tell to the requester?
Yeah, if you have to see the graph, you have to see it. Okay, so query, you have to go here. Where is that? For query, 1 second.
Even when you move the cursor on top of that graph, it is showing.
Yeah, even in the cursor graph, it is showing the cross that is killed. So if you go in the graph,
Yeah, it won't show you the query. He's asking for query, right?
Oh, query. Okay. Yeah, that's
query
it will
information is
show
not
it,
here. Yeah, query, I have to go here. Input buffer. If you see this, this speed is trying to run select star from test 1, and this speed is trying to run test 2. So we will get the query inside this input buffer. Okay, this is.
Can you show the through system event, that one event?
That's
one
what I did.
Is there, right?
That's what I did. I just collected this information from system health session. If you watch this script carefully at the beginning, so I am loading that information from error logs. Okay, it is checking the location of the system health session. Okay, so if you see here, I am doing logging. I'm checking for logging MS SQL log. What it is doing is I'm trying to search for the system health session event, that is system health.xcl file.
Yeah.
So it is fetching the deadlock
So
information
through
from
script
this
you are
file.
pulling it. I understood that through script you are pulling it. But if you wanted to show through whichever is there in SSMS, how we can fetch that killed one? Can we see something you filtered it out?
Okay. System health session. You have to open this. Okay.
Yes.
So if you want that, you can get it from here also. System health session. Go to the event files and sort by timestamp. It is 2029-04-11-7, not this one, right? So here you will get deadlock, this one. So you can fetch this information from here also. But instead of doing this, we have the information with us by using this script. You will get the entire information. The only problem is it is not working on MI. I thought it will work. I will try to modify that script and I'll send you the updated script on MI also.
No,
right now it is not
working. Through script, I understood that. Can you show it through health check event? Just 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, go here and this is what you will get from health session. That's what I'm saying. This is what you will get. Same thing.
Okay. Actually, in my environment, what they are asking is deadlock currently occurring. You can fetch the information. We learned it now, but some of the people next day it will come. So and so or time one of the deadlock it's happened due to that one job got failed. How to find that query got killed it? Is there any way to fetch that information again in the event viewer only, right? Sorry, system health check only, right?
Yes, from there only. You will get the queries from here also, right? If you see it properly, input buffer. So I'm getting the query here for this process ID, and for this process ID, I'm getting the query. So under the input buffer column, I'm getting the queries. That's what I am doing here also. If you observe it properly, under the input buffer column, I am fetching the queries.
So how old deadlocks we can see, like all the error log, current error log?
Yeah, I mean, by default it is 1 second system health session, right? What is that maximum size? It is 5 MB or 20 MB. I'm not sure with the size. By default, it has some size. If you want, you can increase that system health session event size. If you don't want, if you are getting too many deadlocks, then you have to create one extended session dedicated for deadlocks. So just go here and try to create one session on deadlocks. So go and select something. I'll just show randomly. So don't use the template.
Past history only they are asking in our environment.
Yeah, you will get the history
we are
also.
skipping actually. Simply we are skipping past history. It won't capture. By default, we need to enable the trace like that. We are skipping now.
No, it's
So
not required. You can do it straight away. You don't need to enable any trace flags. Just if you are getting too many deadlocks means, for example, 100, 150, something like that. And then my system health session will have some limitation with the size. So it gets overwritten automatically. So you will lose that older events. If you don't want that to happen, create one extended event session dedicated for deadlocks. Like this, I just search for dead and I got this. So usually we'll go with a report, deadlock report or XML deadlock report. Just go and select that and keep that ready and run it continuously. So you never know, right, when the deadlock would get triggered on your systems. So you have to probe. It has to be continuous. You cannot run it from 9 to 5, something like that. If
you can't schedule some period, something night 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. like that. Can't able to schedule like that.
I will ask you one thing. Do you know when you will get heart attack? Just a question. No, right?
No, one of the guys asking same. See, in between 9 there is a one job application job is running. Their schedule is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. During that time, one of the deadlock is occurring. Like that, he is giving the situation. So could you please?
No, so it will be it will continuous 24 hours. No, you can check that any deadlock.
Yeah, you can check not only that deadlock that is happening between the time what you are specifying. You can check any deadlocks throughout the day.
Entire server. Okay.
Entire server.
Even that event file you can export to Excel. Okay, once it is located in physical folder, export in Excel, filter it out based on the time and give them the results. Whatever the time they're asking, just filter between those two time slots and tell them if it is there, give them the details. If not, tell them there are no logs.
Sure. Thank you.
So I'm moving now with deadlock. So I will share this script. This script is working fine on all the servers. I mean IAS, but on MI, I think I need to modify it. I will do it on Saturday, and I will send you the script on Monday. So where were we?
A question. So like as we are able to view the extended events also.
Yeah.
So can we create server side trace on this MI?
Server side traces we can't, I guess. Let us give a try. What is there? Let me disconnect this. I will not get confused. Server side trace on MI. Okay, let's go ahead. Profiler. So this is MI. Remember the password. Connect. Let's go with blank. And now when we are doing, we have to save to a file. Okay, so you can run server side traces from VM. Connect to a VM and you can do it. You can do this, right?
From locally we can do it.
Yeah, we can do this. That is one thing. And that's what I asked in the chat. I mean, in the web WhatsApp group. If you have any questions specific to MI, you can ask me. We can give it a try because even I am learning parallelly along with you. And by default, I don't know how many of you made use of this system health session. This is very helpful, guys. If you are having always on in your environments, by default, I think they made it on from 2016 or 2017. I don't know. If it is not running, just start this session. Okay, this is helpful on IAS environments. If you have always on, if you don't have, you can ignore it. Okay.
How much it will helpful? Can you show one help?
No, I don't have always on now. I cannot show it. Okay. If you have always on, I think you can definitely. I made use of that many times. Let's go back to our class because I'll get deviated if I go to
That's basically you can nail down the lagging between the on-prem and primary principal to the secondary. So
yeah, just like system health session, my always on health session is okay. If you want, you can.
The latency time to
in the dashboard I used to see actually always on show dashboard.
That shows, if everything is fine, you are able to go, go ahead and you can close it. But the things when the things are not normal, like application team says, secondary servers are always sluggish performance. So they are asking you to investigate from DBA side. So that time you need to use this health checks. And you have to aggregate the parameters and you have to do exercise since how long it is, day duration, time duration and all.
Okay, I'm just starting this mission. Okay, now let's go now and I will talk about this VNets and hub and spoke architecture at the same time. Okay, so let me go to the PaaS MI. PaaS MI, I think this is PaaS mission. Let me check this host name. Okay, SQL test PaaS VM means this mission is part of PaaS VNet. PaaS VNet. So my PaaS VNet is having default DNS, which means wide server IP. So I have two Azure SQL servers here. Let me go. So one is Azure AD SQL. That is part of Azure AD VNet. Okay, and there is one more Azure SQL by name PaaS MI server. Okay, let me grab those two. Very, very important, guys. How DNS, again, there is a lot of stuff on DNS that we need to work on. Of course, in real time, this will be taken care by your teams, but here I have to do so many things.
Vamsi, can you just come closer to the mic so that, it's pretty not audible for me.
Okay, now is it okay or?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sorry, I think I got moved away from the mic. Okay, so these are the two Azure SQL things what I have. Okay, you have to understand DNS, guys. That's why I'm talking about Azure SQL. Don't get tense that I'm showing you Azure SQL right now. We'll discuss about Azure SQL later, but as of now, I'm just talking about DNS and hub and spoke architecture. That's the reason I'm pulling out these two. Okay, so Azure AD VNet is having one Azure SQL by name, this one, and PaaS VNet is having one more Azure SQL, and that is this one. And I have one more VNet, DC VNet, okay, that is having custom DNS. Just keep this aside and let me connect to one of the missions. It will run. And meanwhile, let me come here and close this off. I'll keep this and open up PowerShell, TNC. It should be NS lookup, right? Okay. NS lookup. See, I'm able to get the results of PaaS MI server. Okay, PaaS MI server happily, right? PaaS MI server on PaaS mission. Am I confusing you guys? I didn't do anything. Okay, I connected to one of the missions that is part of PaaS VNet, and on that PaaS VNet mission, I'm trying to perform this NS lookup on one of the Azure SQLs what I have, and these are my results. Okay, I'm doing the same thing with Azure AD SQL, which is in another VNet. Okay, and I'm doing this. Stop me if you're not able to understand. Okay, I'm able to get the results as expected. So I got the results happily. Okay, and I'm doing now from DC VNet. The same thing, NS lookup, I'm trying to do it from DC VNet. DC VNet is having custom DNS. It's not default DNS. And if you see now, this is 2016, right? Okay. TNC, first I will do TNC. Just wait for it. It failed straight away. And NS lookup. It is not able to resolve either. Okay. So where do you think the problem is? First of all, did you get the problem before me trying to explain?
Because DC is a custom, right? That's the reason.
So my DNS for this DC VNet is having custom DNS. So if you have the custom DNS, Okay, it will not be able to resolve the names with the private endpoints. Of course, I didn't talk about private endpoints. You can leave that aside, but I'm just saying you NS lookup. So NS lookup is not working for me on DC VNet, whereas NS lookup works fine from Azure AD VNet and PaaS VNet. Right? So you understood the problem, at least problem, not the solution. You understood the problem. Now let me go to the on-premises server. This is my on-premises server, SQL server.
Vamsi,
yes.
That day we created DNS zone and it worked, right?
Yeah, I will talk about DNS zones. I think I didn't talk about DNS zones in our classes, right? Did I?
Yes, we created DNS zone and then we added that VNets to that and resolved it.
Okay, I will keep that aside. I will provide you. I will explain the solution, but before that, I wanted to explain the problem. Okay, so now let me fire the same thing from on-premises. This is PaaS MI, and one more I have Azure AD SQL. Where is that? Let me do NS lookup. If it works for both, no problem. I will take one thing.
TNC works means NS lookup also works.
No, it's not like that. TNC is different. NS lookup is different. Don't come into any conclusions. Okay, now it is working fine. Working fine even from on-premises. So why it is not working from DC VNet? You know the answer at least, right? You know the answer why it is not working, because it is having custom DNS. Even though on premises I have the custom DNS. I have the custom DNS even on premises. If you see, let me show you. This is my DNS. This is my DNS, guys. So I have my own DNS here. Even though I have my own DNS, I think I moved away from the mic. Even though I have my own DNS on Azure, sorry, on premises, still I am able to talk to my Azure SQLs on private endpoints. Why do you think so? I mean, custom DNS is there on Azure, custom DNS is there on premises, but from on premises I'm able to resolve it, but from Azure VMs I'm not able to, from Azure virtual network. You get the point first. I will explain the solution later, but I wanted you to understand the problem first.
Yes,
on-premise custom it is working, but Azure custom is not working.
Not working. So very simple. On premises I have the custom DNS. It is working fine. Okay, but on Azure machines I do have the custom DNS, but it is not working. So what is the problem and how to fix that? So let me check. I think I didn't start one more thing. So let me start that machine also. This is normal DC. So domain controller is turned off. So I have to on this, and then we'll find that result again. So now coming back to the hub and spoke architecture in real time also. Okay, what is hub and what are spokes? So the entire, in simple terms, hub is one central location. Okay, hub is like one central location where you will keep all the important things there. Okay, spokes you will divide. I mean, how can I say? I think Chetan, can you, because I don't have the definitions for hub and spoke. If you are aware with the definitions,
yes.
You can chip in.
Not definition as such, but it is like, it is also, both of them are all of them are VPC. Even hub is also VPC, spoke is also VPC. The only thing is, if there is a, suppose, don't call it a spoke, say VPC 1 on the extreme right, and VPC 2 is there. If we want to have them connection, we are pairing them. Suppose if you are having multiple VPCs, say 20 VPCs, then you will have to pair one VPC with 19 others. And similarly like that will make it cumbersome to manage. And this is when we are doing now, we are just keeping these two VPCs as a spoke, and this is one as a hub. And now if you want to communicate inter-spoke, from one spoke to another spoke, you have to route through hub. How? Because I am not connecting 1 to 2. I'll be connected to someone else. Like it is like I'll not talking to you directly, but I'll talk you through Vamsi. So it is like every request will Vamsi is paired with everyone, but I am and you, we don't have connection, or we don't have any connection within us. So this is like thing. So hub will be Vamsi, and we all are like spoke. And this will make your management and other thing will be easier here, because you don't have to otherwise you'll have to, it will be essentially how clumsy diagram will be, peering here, peering there, everywhere you will be peering if you have a huge setup with multiple VNets and all the things. So this is how the networking model which is chosen in GCP or in other in our organization as well, hub and spoke. So this is how. So what the other good thing is, hub is the thing which is connected to with everyone. So if you want, if you are connecting to hub, if you have a connected to hub, it means you can connect to everywhere. So you just keep the services which are like, which everybody wants, just connected it to hub, because you don't have to take a separate route for them, because they are already paired with everything. So if suppose net backup is there, if suppose net backup service you want, so net backup connect it to hub, because net backup is the one which will be used by everyone, even it's a SAP, even it's Oracle, even it's a SQL Server, anyone, everyone will use the net backup. I mean, if you have that net backup in your company,
yeah.
so such services you have to keep. So this is how we will be keeping at hub level, and this is at spoke level. Yeah.
So as Chetan said, he has rightly mentioned all the points. So if you have too many spokes, guides, and if you wanted to talk to each of the spokes, you have to connect again. So if I have 20 spokes, example, so I have to peer each one of them. And also peering is not transitive. So if I peered A to B, and if I peered B to C, doesn't mean that I will be having communication from A to C. Okay, so it is not that property. Again, I have to establish one more peering to A to C again. So if you do like this, only if you are trying to connect peering across all the spokes, you will have so many VNet peerings and it will be of no use. Instead of that, what Microsoft is suggesting is, not just Microsoft, any other cloud provider. So they want us to go with this kind of architecture where one central location is there that is called as hub, and you will connect all your sub networks or spokes to that main VNet, and you will establish the peering to that one location. Okay, for example, now I will talk about my architecture. You will come to know what is hub and what is spoke. Okay, so now I have 3 VNets, right? PaaS VNet, and I have DC VNet, and I have Azure AD VNet. Got it? 3 VNets. Okay, so I am making this VNet as hub VNet. This will act like hub. Okay, let me write it down. It's now hub, and the other 2 VNets are spokes. Spoke 1 and spoke 2. Why I have chosen PaaS VNet as hub? Why not this Azure AD VNet? Why not this DC VNet? So that is the next question that comes to your mind. Yeah, why? Because one thing is, if I want to connect from outside world, like on premises, I should have virtual network gateway, right? So if you see here, even in this diagram, I have something called as gateway subnet. This is nothing but virtual network gateway. So I have created my virtual network gateway inside the PaaS VNet. So that's why I opted for PaaS VNet as my hub in my scenario. I'm talking about my scenario. Let me show you. So this is my virtual network gateway. If you see here, this is part of PaaS VNet. Okay, so where is that diagram? So this is part of PaaS VNet. Since I have my virtual network gateway in PaaS VNet, I opted for PaaS VNet to act like hub. Okay, this is my hub, and this is my Azure AD VNet, and this is my DC VNet. So I have 2 spokes and 1 hub. Okay, now I have peering from what is this PaaS VNet to Azure AD VNet, and I have peering from PaaS VNet to the other one is DC VNet. I have the peering in place. If I go now, and if I go to the PaaS VNet, virtual networks, PaaS VNet, if I go to peerings, I have peering. If you see, I have peerings to Azure AD VNet as well as to DC VNet. So peering is in place. And if I go to Azure AD VNet, and if I go to peerings, see, I have peering to PaaS VNet. And if I go to DC VNet, I have peering again to PaaS VNet. So PaaS VNet is my hub. Okay, PaaS VNet is my hub, and Azure AD VNet and the DC VNet are my spokes. That's how the architecture is aligned. Any questions with this setup? Did you understand what is hub and what are spokes? I know this is out of DBA things, but
lady on the place. So how is that different with the earlier that you created with the VNet peering? Now this Azure private DNS zone, how it's working?
I will explain about these things. Don't get worried. Okay, first I wanted you to understand the hub and spoke architecture scenario. So I hope that you understood what is hub and what are spokes. Any question
Yes.
with that?
Yes. So hub
Got
is
it.
like
Yeah.
hub is like your router, and from the spokes is your machines which are able to route through your hub. Is it like this way?
Yeah. So as Chetan said, if I want to talk to spoke 2 from spoke 1, okay. So instead of creating one more pairing here, spoke 1 will communicate to hub, and hub will talk to spoke 2 on behalf of spoke 1. So this guy is like a mediator, and this guy is mediating all the spokes. Okay, instead of creating peering across all the spokes, I will just create peering to my central hub, and my central hub will now talk to all the spokes. So this guy is like a mediator, kind of mediator.
One question, Vamsi.
All spokes are pointing to the hub, then hub is pointing to the where, Vamsi?
We will come. So I'm trying to explain the things very slowly because this is not our area and we have to be little slow here. So are you comfortable with hub and spoke architecture? At least the basic things. Why we need hub and spoke architecture? If someone asks you in interview, you should say that it's not possible to create so many peerings across the spokes and it makes the architecture extremely cumbersome. So to avoid that, we have to create one hub and each spokes will communicate via that hub with the peering. That's it. Don't try to expand that. Yeah.
If you have a spoke with private DNS and one with Azure provided DNS, then also this hub and spoke works.
That is the scenario what I have now. Okay, now you are you came now. So if I open this up, I think this is my normal SQL, right? I mean, this is part of DC VNet. And if you see, so I am not getting the results. Okay, I'm not getting the results. NS lookup is not working fine. And let me, okay, if I show you that again, you will get so many questions. Let me go with DNC. Still, my DNS is not working fine. My DNS is not working fine because I have the custom DNS. If you see here, observe this diagram very carefully, guys, very carefully. So imagine this one is Azure AD VNet and the bottom one is DC VNet and this one is PaaS VNet. Okay. PaaS VNet is having DNS. What is the DNS for PaaS VNet? Same thing, wire server IP. Okay, Azure provided DNS and treat this as Azure AD VNet. If I go to that notepad, Azure AD VNet, again, this is Azure provided DNS, which is nothing but wire server IP. But at the bottom spoke, where I have this domain controller and one SQL machine, this is not Azure provided DNS. In my case, it is custom DNS. So this is custom DNS. So are you getting now? So I have Azure provided DNS for hub, Azure provided DNS for Azure AD VNet, and custom DNS for DC VNet. That is how my setup is. As of now, this is not DC VNet is not Azure provided. I have my own custom DNS. Just keep that aside. Okay. And now
one
come
question,
back.
Vamsi.
Yeah.
So now if your on-premise is connecting to the gateway subnet, now this on-prem can connect to your Azure provided DNS, maybe spoke 1 directly, the hub.
Very good question. So let's give it a try. Since okay, if you observe it properly, yeah, it will work. And if you observe it properly from on premises, I ran one command, right? Let me show you. Oh, okay. This is PaaS MIV server, which is in hub location, So I will ignore this, and let me go with the other one, the Azure AD SQL database windows.net -port 1433, and I am able to communicate with the help of hub to my spoke VNet also. If you see, I'm able to talk with private endpoint. Okay, and if I fire NS lookup, I have to type. Sorry, windows.net. See, I'm able to get the results as expected with the help of hub. Hub is the central location. But
and if you do it for the other one where the
DNS is there, right? So if I do NS lookup for one of the missions like normal SQL one, I think that is the mission name. Let me check. Home.
Background peering was done, right? That's the reason we are connecting. Right?
Peering is there for all the VNets. It's not about peering. You have to, of course, peering is an important thing. I'm not denying that, but you have to understand the hub and spoke architecture. 1 second. Normal SQL one. Okay, normal SQL one. Let me go here. First, I will try to see the ping here. Ping. What is the IP for normal SQL one? 10.25.0.5. 10.25.0.5. See, the ping is also working fine, even though I have the custom DNS. Since we have peered the network via the virtual network gateway of PAS VNet, I'm able to talk to DC VNet also. But this is a huge but. Okay, if I do NS lookup, mission name is SQL.
Normal SQL one.
Normal SQL one.
Normal SQL
one. Okay, not this one. This one. Normal SQL one. Normal SQL one dot SQL training.com. This is the complete fully qualified domain name. If I do this, straight away it says I don't know anything about this, boss. I don't know, because I have not set up the DNS between my DC VNet and from on-premises. I don't have that. Even forget about on-premises. Even if I come here and if I'm trying to access the Azure AD SQL and the other things, it is not working right. This is my normal SQL one mission. Let me show you the host name. Normal SQL one. Let me zoom a bit. Properties, font 24. As you can see, this is not working because I have not configured DNS correctly. If I don't configure DNS, it will not work. And even if I do NS lookup, it will not work. I have to still work on this. But I'm showing you how the DNS plays an important role. If you don't configure DNS properly, it will not work. So why did I do this? If I don't do this, what will happen? See the results here. Okay, I just got Azure AD SQL.database.windows.net, but I'm not getting the private IP. I wanted to have the resolution with private IP. It is not happening. But if I pass the wide server IP, at least I'm getting the results with public IP. So are you getting or too much confusion? Because I think this is too much for you guys, if I'm not wrong.
So actually, normal SQL is your IIS, right?
IIS
on Azure.
On Azure with custom DNS.
Okay, with custom DNS, correct.
Yeah, with custom DNS.
I guess last time when we were doing this,
I will come to that private
link server.
Yes, I will come now. Not about links. Yeah, linked servers. Yes, as part of linked servers.
How to connect it from custom? What is the solution?
Yeah, we have
private DNS zone.
Private DNS.
So if you go here, so I have to create the private DNS zones. Okay, private DNS zones, and that's the reason. If you observe this diagram very carefully, okay. So I have one mission here and one mission here. Okay, and I have one private endpoint. Imagine this is SQL private endpoint. Okay, just imagine this is SQL private endpoint. Okay, and now I am creating, these are all private endpoints. Do you know the difference between private endpoint and Azure private DNS zones? First of all, before me explaining about this architecture.
So the private endpoint is something like whenever you want to connect to any service provided by Azure privately with private IP, you need a private endpoint, right?
Yeah, very in simple terms. In today's class, I told about this topic, not in depth, but I just have given a glance. So if I want to connect to Azure SQL using virtual networks, since we don't have the concept of virtual networks for Azure SQL, I have to create private endpoint. Once we create the private endpoint, I will get an VNet associated with that endpoint, and I will get one IP, free IP. The next free IP, I will get that. So this is, just imagine, I will try to be a little slow here.
When we say Azure SQL doesn't have VNet, it means we don't have control, but it has its own VNet. I mean,
that might be the case internally. But
yes, if you go to router will show you for our GCP. I know how to check that. If I go to route table, it will show me that Google APIs PostgreSQL.com is the one which is there, as that subnet is there, and it has its own network is there. But yes, only thing is we don't have control over it. And what we are doing, we are just creating a tunnel kind of thing, secure tunnel, so that we will be able to connect to that privately. That's the thing what I have understood, at least.
Okay,
private
route print it is. Let us check the route if you want. And what is this mission? I think this is pass VM, where I'm able to talk to my Azure SQL. And if I just print the route, I got something with the Microsoft network adapter and with some software. I don't know about this routing table because it is not in an understandable format. So I'm ignoring this. My question is, are you getting the difference between private endpoint and private DNS zones? We have three topics here, guys. Okay, we have three topics. One is DNS private resolver. The other one is private endpoint. The other one is private DNS zones. We have three things lined up, and these are very complicated. We have to go phase by phase. And I think better, if you people understood, I will proceed. If not, you can ignore it. There is no harm to ignore. But if everyone is interested, then I will try to drive this, because the others will get impacted. That is my problem. It's your choice.
Vamsi, is it like private endpoint will allow you to give connections with IPs only, and private DNS zone will give you with the DNS names? Is it the correct one? Hello.
One second. I am just drinking water. Sorry. Yeah. So Ganesh, to answer your question, so once we create the private endpoint, because I didn't talk about Azure SQL, that's the reason I wanted to skip this for the moment. If you are creating the Azure SQL, okay, and you have the option to create private endpoint. At the time of creation of private endpoint, okay, at the time of creation of private endpoint, it will ask you whether you want DNS zones for your private endpoint. If you say yes, it will create a private DNS zones for these records. Okay, for this record means I'll have the entry. So if I show you, since I have linked some private things, let me show you that. What is that? Private links, right? Private DNS zones, yeah. Private DNS zones. Topics are getting complicated day by day. I thought of going with replication, but again.
But this is very important. Once actually the connectivity part must be understood actually.
Yes.
It's very slow. Is it my network? Yeah, I got it. So this is my private DNS zone. So what is private DNS zones? First of all, before talking about private DNS zones, what will you say about private DNS zones? So it's nothing but DNS. You know about DNS now, right? So if I go to my on-premises, so this is my DNS. Let me open the DNS. This is my DNS. This is my DNS. Okay, this is my on-premises DNS what I have. Okay, and in the similar fashion on Azure, I have custom DNS because I have created one more DNS for these two missions. Where are those two? Normal DC and normal SQL one. I have DNS on normal DC. So this mission is domain controller as well as DNS server. So I have the DNS entries over here. So what does it contain? What does a DNS server would contain? First, you have to be aware of that. What does DNS contain?
Hostname and your IP.
Yes, obviously it is hostname and IP. Very simple. So if I go here and if I go to my console.com, I have these entries because these are older entries. You can ignore. For just I'm just asking you to focus on this one. So this is my Azure, on-prem SQL machine. I didn't change the machine name. Sorry for that. This is my machine name and this is my IP. I didn't add this entry. Okay, I didn't add this entry. Once you add the machine to domain, automatically, since this server is having DNS on the same server, DNS and domain is on the same server, I'm getting this entry automatically, right? It's nothing but DNS server is having name and IP mapping and IP and names mapping, as simple as that. Okay. So what about this Azure private DNS zones? Where is that? Azure private DNS zones. So this contain again names and IP, definitely names and IP. So what are the names and what are the IPs? So this is specifically to a resource inside Azure. Okay, specifically to a resource inside Azure. In my case, I am dealing with Azure SQLs. So I have something called as, where is that? Private DNS zones. So it will be something called as private link.database.windows.net. So that is the name what I will get. And inside this private link.database.windows.net, I will have the associated entry. What is that associated entry? That private endpoint IP address. I don't know why it is slow. It's not the problem with net, guys. It's from their end only. Okay, I will stop one machine or else. Okay, it came. So if you see here, private link.database.windows.net. Okay. So this is the name, guys. This is the name. Just treat this like a server name. Okay. Treat this as a server name to understand better. Just treat this as a server name. So Azure AD SQL. Okay. Azure AD SQL. Sorry, treat this as a DNS server. Treat this as a DNS server. And this is my entry. If I go here, Azure AD SQL. So what is that complete name? It is Azure AD SQL dot private link dot database windows.net, and this is the IP 10.1.0.7. That is the private endpoint. And if I go to another private DNS zones, okay, and I have the pass MI server, that is one more Azure SQL what I have. And if you see, automatically the entry got added. So my private DNS zones contains entries of my Azure SQLs, whatever that are there as part of spokes. So there, I have two spokes, right? I told you I have two spokes. One is Azure AD VNet, the other one is PaaS VNet. So all the two spokes entries are getting registered over here inside this private link dot blob.core.windows.net. Questions? Of course, this is very difficult to explain, guys, but I'm just giving my best. Even if you don't understand,
in
you can ignore.
In Azure private zones, under that there are two links are there, right? So you created, right? Want to see that one? In Azure portal.
Yeah, I created at the time of creating Azure
left
SQL.
side,
Yeah, I created this too. Once you create that, you will get these entries automatically. Okay.
And both the names are same.
Yes, it will be same. It will be same. Private link dot database dot windows.net. That is the name. You cannot change this because if you go to the official page of Microsoft, this is all related to DNS. That's why I'm very afraid of this. Hard to explain.
I guess last time you have given this
demo same name, but different VNets.
Again, I'm
guys. Once we create this one, then only we can connect that from custom to that one, right?
No, I will come back to that part 1 second. Okay. So if you observe each and every resource, let's talk about SQL for a second. Okay. So let me take, where is Azure SQL? Yeah, Azure SQL. So this is my resource. What is the private DNS zone for my Azure SQL? It will be always private link dot database dot windows.net. And if I take the public DNS zones, it will be database.windows.net. So I have to make use of this DNS that is coming from Microsoft. I'm not, this is from Microsoft, guys. I am not creating on my own. This is coming from Microsoft. So it will be always with private link.database.windows.net for private DNS zones. And for public, it will be database.windows.net. So these are the two entries that we should be aware of. First thing.
So while creating name, automatically it will pick it up, right? We are not giving that one.
No, it will create automatically private link dot database dot windows.net. That's why you are seeing private link dot database dot windows.net. So complete name will be Azure AD SQL, means Azure name dot private link dot database windows.net. It's the same thing for the other thing also. What is it? Pass MI. If I take, it is pass MI srv dot private link dot database dot windows.net. That's how it is. Okay. So now let's go to the diagram. And if you see, my hub is having, imagine this is one hub private endpoint, right? This is hub private endpoint. Okay. And if I want to access this hub private endpoint from the spokes endpoint, okay, what should I do? That is the next question, right? That is our next question. So I'm able to access it without custom DNS. When it is default, I'm able to access the private endpoint happily. If you observe it carefully, the results. So this is my SQL test pass VM, which is part of pass VNet. And if I'm doing that NS lookup or TNC, it is working fine. It is working fine, right? Why it is working fine? If you observe this again, let's go back here. Okay, 10.0.20.5. This is the hub private endpoint. In my case, what is that? 172.16.3.5. So I have to replace this with 172.16.3.5. Okay, and now this is my Azure AD VNet. So I'm able to talk. Let me open one of the Azure AD missions also. And then you will come to know. See how difficult it is, guys. So if you don't understand, you can ignore it, guys. Please don't scold me again, because this is not our area. We are going into another area and we are trying to learn something. I'll open this mission.
Vamsi, one question. In that diagram, the VNet peering is for communication and the DNS resolver is for the DNS resolution, right? The DNS zone is for our DNS DNS to IP mapping, right?
Yeah. You are talking about this guy, DNS private resolver?
No. So we have VNet peering also to the hub.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
we have VNet peering also to hub, and then we are also
having
connecting
VNet
DNS zone to the spokes also.
Yeah. So see this diagram. So again, you have to
VNet
follow
link
this.
Also required. Okay.
VNet link should be also there. So I will try to show you now. 1 second. Let's wait for Azure DC mission. Is it started? It's starting now. So once you understand this, okay, once you understand this, if at all, then you have to understand again DNS private resolver. There is one more thing. Okay, it started. Hopefully it should connect. I think this is part of talnet hub.g. Anyways, this is domain controller. As expected. Are we database admins? SQL DBS?
Network engineers.
No, so far, henceforth, maybe not.
Now we are network admin and AD admin also.
Windows admin.
Slowly. Is this the password? Yeah, I think this is 1, 2, 3. Oh God. I forgot the password. Yeah, okay. It took literally 2 weeks to solve this issue from on-prem. Was not able to find out where the problem is, and finally I was able to. So it's not that easy to understand. That's my problem, because even I took some time to understand. So for you to understand it, definitely it's not that easy. Let's wait for it. TNC again. I'm doing TNC to pass MISRV. Pass MISRV dot database dot windows.net. Pass MISRV, right? Or is it something else? Let me copy. Pass MI SRV. Not sure if it doesn't work. Okay, it's not working. Let's do with Azure AD SQL. See, on premises is working fine, and we are not able to resolve it from virtual machines, Azure VMs, Azure network. So this is working fine because Azure AD SQL and Azure DC, they are both from same resource group, same VNet. That's why we are able to get the results back. But if I do on hub MI server, hub Azure SQL, I'm not able to. Let's try to resolve this now. Are you getting, or are you completely lost? I don't know, because at the beginning it was 36, but now if I see the count drop down to 28, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Can you please repeat it once again?
Sure. So this is my setup, right?
Yeah, custom one we have. Can you able to fix that issue now? Custom.
I am forget about custom. We have issues even on this one. Azure AD VNet is having Azure AD SQL. So I got connected to that mission. Let me show you CLS host name. So this is AZ DC SQL. If you see AZ, this is AZ VNet. Okay. So here I'm able to resolve to Azure AD SQL because they are both from same VNets. And if I'm trying to reach to pass MI SRV, it's not working. That's what I'm talking about. Pass MI SRV. See, it's not working. So DNS is not working. Even though I have custom DNS, even though I have Azure provided default DNS on for this VNet, it's not working. So what I have to do now? So as per this diagram, so I have to link the VNets. Let's go and see what's happening. Okay. 1 second. So where is private DNS Zones? Okay. And this is for Azure AD SQL. Yeah. Okay. And if I go to the virtual networks link, it will not allow me to add because we are coming to add the same, this is same name, right? So it will not allow. I will tell you. Just 1 second. Let's wait for it. Where is replication? What is this DNS? Let's wait for it. Why it is super slow today? Is it this? I'll shut down this mission. I will save this. We don't require that because we are not dealing with replication. Okay, I'll refresh it again. So I have the private link for my Azure VNet, Azure AD VNet. Okay, so it is just linked to only this VNet. Okay, only this VNet. So as per this diagram, I need to link to spokes also. My spoke is now, sorry, I have to, this is, one second. I'm getting lost here. 1 second. I have to be a little slow again. Let me come back. First, I will go with hub private endpoint. Okay, hub private endpoint. Here from this mission, I'm able to access both of them, pass MI as well as the other one, right? Guys, are you there? Because even I am getting confused.
Yes.
Okay, please give me some confidence.
Yeah, for us, like hub is your pass VNet is
pass
hub,
VNet,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So pass VNet, from pass VNet, I'm able to access the Azure AD SQL comfortably. So I'm able to resolve. It's working fine. But I'm just talking about default VNets, guys. I mean default DNS. We are not touching the custom DNS as of now. We are just going with the default DNS setup, which is 168. Okay, now if I go here, I don't have the entry over here. Okay, I don't have the entry of that IP and associated name. Okay, here if I go, I added the entry, Azure AD SQL entry is there. That's why I'm able to resolve from PAS VNet. But here, if I go to Azure AD VNet, I have only the entry of Azure AD SQL. I don't have the entry of PAS MISRV. If I add the entry now, it will work. So I will show you. Hopefully, let me copy the name because PAS MISRV. I don't want to take risk. I'll just copy this PAS MISRV. Okay, and now let's go to private DNS zones and just choose the Azure AD VNet private link and go to the record set and add that. This is how it will work. So let me, okay, pass my SRV. What is the IP? 172.16.3.5, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. 172.16.3.5. So once I add this entry, it will create the record inside this DNS, private DNS of Microsoft. Okay, and now if I go to my Azure AD SQL, Azure mission, Azure VNet mission, and if I do this one, see, at the very next moment, I'm able to resolve the issue. This is how DNS works, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Like this custom also, if you added from custom also, you can connect it, right?
Let's go phase by phase. Don't run, don't rush. We are coming step by step. So now you are understanding the concepts. My main focus is you have to understand the concepts. It's not about the solution. Even if you read some documents, you'll be able to find the solution. I'm not curious about solutions. I'm curious about understanding the concepts. Okay, so I cannot link this virtual network to another virtual network because both the names are same. Okay, since both names are same, I will show you now in front of you. This is Azure AD VNet, right? If I try to add, I'll just say PAS VNet, PAS MI VNet, it will fail. So here we should not be adding links. We should add the entries, DNS entries. That is the difference. Okay, let me add PAS VNet to Azure AD VNet. It will fail now. You can watch it out. It will not work. Just wait for it. In another few seconds, you will get that error.
It is logical, right? You should add a record, not the exact VNet, right?
Yes. We should add a record, not the entire thing. But if you see this diagram, so he is asking us to create VNet link. But here in this case, it is different story, guys. This is different. The example what you are seeing is different, and the example, sorry, that the things what I am showing is different. But you can refer this as a reference. This is not strictly what I'm following.
It's a dotted link. We're just trying to say that we have established a link so that DNS can work. This is what I have understood.
You are right. Dotted link. So if you see here, it is VNet link, what they are saying. Okay, so forget about that. Now, if you see it, you cannot overlap the names. You are trying to create, what is that? If you read this message properly, you will come to know a virtual network cannot be linked to multiple zones with overlapping namespaces. You try to link virtual network with private link.database.windows.net and again with private link.database.windows.net zones. This is not possible. The simple solution is go to the other VNet and just add the entry. If you add that entry, you will get the result. I just added the entry and the very next moment we got the result. See, first time it failed. After adding the entry, it was successful. If I delete this entry, again, I will not be able to, okay, it got deleted. And now if I fire this, it will fail. Doom. As simple as that. So this is how the DNS works.
So if we'll create another MI, suppose, then we'll have to add that one as well, right?
MI, we'll talk about MI.
No, not MI. Suppose so you're creating one more Azure SQL. Sorry,
yeah, we have
one more Azure SQL. Yeah.
We have to add.
You'll have to add that one as well because that will also getting us different private IP altogether.
Yes, right? If you get private IP, you have to add that entry. As simple as that.
Yes.
So correct. Now if I go here, now you understood. I'm thinking that you understood something about private DNS zones and how I'm able to resolve with custom DNS. We are just talking with custom DNS, sorry, default DNS. Now the only problem left for us is with how to resolve my Azure SQL with private endpoints on custom DNS server, because this example always talks about Azure provided DNS in this case, but I have my custom DNS. that is the last scenario. We have to resolve that. So I will show you tomorrow how to work with custom DNS. When you have the custom DNS, how to resolve. It will not work like
DNS
what we have.
From domain controller.
Yeah, from domain controller.
Right?
Yes, that is different. And we have to create some conditional forwarders for that to work. If I'm not wrong, I will work on it and I will let you know. Okay, so
okay, got it.
VNet, if you add in the Azure DNS zone, can't able to connect.
It is, see, as of now, let's go and let's go to
that is a DNS itself, right, Ganesh?
Yeah, that is DNS itself.
Yeah, so you are asking DNS to add another DNS. Yeah, that is something illogical. I mean, logically, it is not correct.
No, making one group together in private DNS zone within the Azure service, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Otherwise,
so private link, and if I try to add, okay, if I try to add my DC VNet and see what happens first.
Yes, yes.
Private, what is this first? First thing, this is the entry on Azure AD SQL. Okay, Azure AD SQL, virtual networks, add to DC VNet, and I have to choose DC VNet, and I will enable auto registration to be on a safer side. And let's try to add this first. Will it be able to talk via the private endpoints? Sorry, this virtual network links. It is one of the solutions. I think it should work, if I'm not wrong. But again, as I didn't work, I am not sure. Let's wait for it. DC VNet in progress.
You added entire VNet.
Entire VNet.
Okay. Yeah, DC VNet. Yeah, correct.
I added the entire VNet. Let's wait here 1 second, Nana, please. Okay, now since I added and since I enabled the auto registration, if you see the 2 entries got added automatically. I didn't add the A records for these 2 missions. It got added automatically. Okay, now let's go to our normal SQL 1 mission, which is this mission. Let me double check. Host name should be normal SQL 1. Yeah. And if I fire Azure AD SQL, let's see. Still, it is not working. Okay. And let's go with TNC. Okay, it's not working. I added it, but still it is not working. It will work if I do something. You want me to do that? I'll show you tomorrow, guys. Because I have to go back. Tomorrow. Yeah. So
just a last question. Just last question. So can you just go to private DNS zones?
Private DNS, yes.
Yeah. So here we are saying that we cannot create the name, the same name, right? The private link.database.windows.net.
Okay, just a second. I will copy these names. I will copy this error and I will paste this. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are able to see already there are 2 links which are created with the same name, right? So how is that possible then in that case? Because
no. See. When you are creating the Azure SQL, okay, there is an option for private endpoint, right? So at the time of creation of private endpoint, okay, it will create this private DNS zone. Okay, I will show you in front of you. Tomorrow, I will take this as a first question. I will show you, Ganesh. I understood your question, but tomorrow it will be very easy if I show you with practicals rather than talking about theoretically. It's always better to do practicals.
Yeah. And
tomorrow, can we delete these 2 links and can we create freshly under private DNS zones? So then it will be clear.
Actually, this class is, I thought not to discuss this, but you made me to discuss, guys. That is not my problem. But at the time of Azure SQL, you will come to know how to, or else you can watch today's video. I uploaded onto the video, right? So you can watch that video.
Yeah.
Because I didn't talk about Azure SQL. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and another question, like as we said that for custom DNS, we are getting issues. So right now into this DNS zone, we are creating A records for the particular links. Okay.
Yeah.
So then can we create C records like
no. It is C name is different. and A records are different. For here, A record is good enough to resolve.
Okay. I just
it's just a IP, private IP.
address,
You'll be getting, it's A record is enough.
Enough.
Why we don't have to go for CNAME?
CNAMEs here. Guys,
no, I was just thinking,
one conclusion on private DNS. Sorry. Private DNS zones background, we are doing the peering for all the VNets. Again, we are giving those IP addresses here in under private DNS zones, right?
Yes. Yeah.
To communicate with the names also, not with IP address.
This is only for MI, correct?
No, we are talking about Azure SQL
Azure
today.
SQL only.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys. I moved out from MI because I don't have many MI, so I have to go with Azure SQL only. And how this works for MI, if you ask me, if you have listened my classes properly, again I'm repeating, Azure MI do have the VNet concept. Okay, Azure SQL is not having the VNet concept, so there itself you will get the differentiation. Okay, so
yes, correct.
Can you ping the link of diagram? We learned it to communicate with IP
I am
address
getting
only
overlapped.
VNet.
I'm getting overlapped, so I will take one question. Go ahead.
Omsi, that script, paste it in chat.
Yes.
Yeah,
I will
script upload. And that Azure GitHub link. Yeah, diagram GitHub link. Yeah, correct.
I will just paste here only.
Link I'll paste it in WhatsApp group. Give me the script.
Sure. I will share the script and I will modify that script on Monday for MI to work.
Okay. Vamsi, last question. Day before yesterday, we learned about to communicate the VNet to peering. We are done it, but after peering also, it will communicate through the IP addresses only. So to communicate with the names, we are doing the private DNS zone. This is the one only, right?
No, this is too much of a topic. Believe me, you have to watch this many a times to understand. And I told you at the beginning itself, it's a straight away warning from me. Unless you have good understanding with DNS and some AD level or networking things, this is hard to digest. Okay, even if you don't, that's why I said, even if you don't understand, you can ignore this from your minds. I'm just showing
word
you.
I wanted to know, just to communicate with the IP address peering we are doing. To communicate with the names.
No, it's not about with
name.
Peering is not with names or IPs. Peering is how you will connect two VNets together. That's it. There is no
but after
names
that it
and
will
no
ping
IPs.
NS lookup and
that is with DNS. So there are two things here. If you want to talk to different VNet, you should have peering. If you want to get the results with names, with NS lookup or TNCs properly, you have to have your DNS resolution set up. So all these scenarios, whatever we discussed today, is all with respect to DNS. DNS. If you want to be more familiar with DNS, just try to Google it, get some basics on DNS. That's good enough. Even I am not good at DNS, but what I understood, I'm just projecting it. I'll stop because, as I said, my bill this time will go. You can't even imagine, guys. This is 1,000. I'm just frightened. I want more people, guys. Please, if you have any friends or if you have anything, please do refer me so that I'll get some people. I'm showing you upfront. There is nothing to hide. So last month, it is showing 0, but as the taxes are not added, it is 594 for the moment. I will get 650 or something for last month. And if you see the projection as of now, it is 168 for 7 days and it's showing me 1,000 something else. Okay, so that's why I said I have to finish off MI as quickly as possible and I have to delete this. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So next week, I will be focusing entirely on migrations. If you don't have any things on MI.
Otherwise, if possible, I'm sorry to give you this suggestion.
Yeah.
He is taking in weekends 2 hours or something so that we can finish it up early.
Yeah, even I had that plan, but I don't know how many people will accept that. So
yeah, just put it in WhatsApp group. Let them come back and say.
Yeah, I will put that because I have to finish this off.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it should not be a burden for you.
Yeah. So okay, I will try to do this on this Saturday and Sunday. I will try to come up with classes and I will try to finish off our MI first. If I finish off MI, then it is of no problem. We can work comfortably with Azure SQL. It won't cost me much. MI is the only worst thing. And top of it, we are resolving the resolvers with private resolver, which is a new technique. What I have, sorry, not what I have, what Microsoft has given. So this is also will cost you a lot, and virtual network gateway, eventually this is very costly. These three things, if I delete them, I can be very happy.
Okay, so once you are talking about this DNS private resolvers.
Yeah.
So today I asked you regarding this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Ganesh, yes.
Yeah.
We are yet to explore DNS private resolver. We are still with just private DNS zones and private endpoints. So once we finish off that, finally I will come to DNS private resolvers.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you. It's already 6:10. I have to go back now, and we'll catch tomorrow. Yeah.
You'll upload or
I will upload. I will upload.
Okay.
Along with video, I'll upload the script.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Detail
documentation.
will do
Yeah.
Thank you.